going on, movie fans? My name is Michael Weer. I love talking about movies, and we've officially made it through yet another month of 2024. May has come to an end, which means just like in all of the previous months this year and last year, it's time to take a look back at the month and rank all of the brand new releases that I had a chance to see from worst to best. Now, this list isn't going to be the best list or the right list. It's just going to be my list, and I would absolutely love to know how you would rank the movies from May of 2024 from worst to best. So if you've seen multiple movies, don't forget to throw your comments down below and let me know how you would rank the month, or if you just want to comment on my list and tell me how wrong I am, that's fine too. With all that said, let's get into ranking May of 2024 from worst to best. Alright guys, I saw 8 brand new movies in the month of May 2024, and I'm very excited to talk about all of them with you. At number 8, the worst of the worst, the movie that I will never go back to unless it's to talk about how bad it was, and that is the horror movie Tarot. Now, Tarot was bad for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons it was bad is that it had every single horror trope in the book and then bent the rules where it wanted to break the rules. It was really annoying. The whole setup for the movie is that a bunch of young adults at a mansion Airbnb run out of alcohol, and then, not drunk at all, they're like, hey, let's just explore the rest of the house because there's got to be alcohol hidden around here somewhere. So they get to the one room that says do not enter, and they break in and find an old deck of tarot cards. And then one thing leads to another because one of these young adults knows how to read tarot cards, and she reads everybody's tarot cards, and she finds out what their future is going to be, and surprise, surprise, it's all death from the theme that was in the cards. There was some positive to this movie. I liked the backstory of the cards. I think that should have been the real movie, but since it's not, since that's the movie we were given, at number 8, is Tarot. Coming in at number 7, guys, we have The Strangers Chapter 1, and this is a movie from the trailer that I assumed was going to be beat for beat like the previous movie. Now, they do something different where the setup to get the couple to the house was a fresh take on the strangers. Like, it was a couple who goes into a town, their car suddenly breaks down, they have to get an Airbnb for the night, and then the strangers come. That's not a fresh take on how to get people to a scary location. That's been done so many times before. However, to the Strangers franchise itself, it was unique and different because, hey, maybe the town is in on it. Maybe that's something they're going to dive into in Strangers Chapter 2 and 3, which both release later this year. So that is the one praise I can give the movie. However, yes, after that point, they get to the Airbnb. It is beat for beat like the previous movie, and there's just dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision made by the two main characters. At one point, they've got a shotgun to the back of the head of these people who clearly are there to kill them, and he goes, give me a reason to use it. It's like, my man, they gave you reason. They gave you so many reasons. Finish this person off and then go save your girlfriend. No, you're just gonna, oh man, they've got your gun. That is how the movie goes. I'm hopeful that part 2 and 3 are going to be better, but this movie was just a cheap ripoff of The Strangers from 2008. At number 6, guys, it pains me to put yet another horror movie at the top of this list, but it is what it is. We have In a Violent Nature. And In a Violent Nature is a movie that I thought had a great, fresh, unique concept for the horror genre, where you were following the point of view of the killer going around and slicing and dicing people in the woods. However, everything else in this movie is your typical horror trope without any real substance. You don't get to follow the characters that are in this movie and feel for any of them. When it comes down to the final girl in this film, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I don't know anything about you. You might be the worst in your entire group. You might be the bad person from your group, because typically in a camp slasher movie, there's a group of young adults and they're all out there in the woods partying, having a good time, and a couple of them are scumbags and you're like, all right, you're going to die first. But you never really get to see any of that because you're seeing it from the point of view of the killer. So while that concept is fresh and unique, and I thought that was cool, there was enough negatives in this movie to make me put it at number 6. At number 5, guys, we have a movie that is so disappointing, it will not shock me if it's on my most disappointing movies of 2024 list at the end of this year, and that is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And here's the thing about this movie. Had this one come out directly after the Mark Wahlberg atrocity that came out in 2001, I believe, had that movie come out right after that, I'd be like, wow, it was a solid entry into the Apes franchise, and I look forward to seeing where it goes. But it didn't. This movie came out after the Caesar trilogy. It came out after Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes. So when you finally get to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, you're just like, oh, this is not anywhere near as good a level as those other three previous movies. And then people will make the argument, well, this movie had to set up the next Apes franchise. Well, so did Rise, and Rise is my favorite in that trilogy. Although they're all great, I could understand anybody putting any of those movies anywhere on that list. But when you get to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, it just feels like such a step down from the Caesar trilogy, even if it's this world-building movie. The first hour and a half are just incredibly boring and setting up a third act that's not really that exciting. So disappointingly, it's at number 5. At number 4, guys, we have a movie I had no idea was coming out. I was really excited to check it out, actually, and it is Movie Pass Movie Crash, a new documentary on HBO Max. Now, if you haven't seen it yet and you have HBO Max, or what's just known as Max now, well, then you can go check it out as soon as you want. Just finish watching this video first. But I actually had a really decent time with this, and I was a Movie Pass card holder. Do not have my card anymore, but I was a Movie Pass card holder where I would take my Movie Pass card to the theater, swipe it, and get to see a movie for free, or $10.99 a month, however you want to look at it. But of course, we knew it wasn't a business model that was going to hold up, because I was seeing a movie a day back then, or I was seeing multiple movies a week back then, and I was only paying $10. I'm like, somewhere this is going to break down if MoviePass is actually paying for all of my tickets. And I won't go into more detail for the documentary itself. You should check it out. But man, there was some shady stuff that happened to the creators of MoviePass. The people that came in and took over MoviePass really looked like they were doing some criminal things, and they're all facing criminal charges to this day. So there's a lot going on there. If you like documentaries and if you like stuff that has to do with the movie industry, I think you'll enjoy HBO's Movie Pass Movie Crash. Check it out on HBO now. Now we've made it to the top 3. These are 3 movies that I thought were the best of the month. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite 3 movies were this month. In case you don't have an even bigger list, I would like to know what your top 3 were, if nothing else. But at number 3, guys, we have If, and If stands for Imaginary Friends. It is written and directed by John Krasinski. He also stars in this movie. The movie also stars Ryan Reynolds, and the movie is a family-friendly comedy that is full of emotion, it's full of heart, it's full of laughter for children. I thought I had a great time with this movie, but mostly my great time came from watching my children really enjoy this movie. And in the couple weeks that it's been since this movie came out, my kids have tripped over Keith in the house so many times. It's a great gag in the house. I'm going to be honest with you, I slipped down the stairs the other day. It wasn't bad, I'm okay, but I did slip, and when I landed, everybody just kind of looked at me and I yelled, "Keith!" and everybody laughed. So yeah, it's things like that where when it impacts my kids and myself, when it impacts my family, it means a big deal to me. Had a great time with If, and I highly recommend it, especially if you have kids. We're down to the final 2 movies, and at number 2, we have Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, which is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, which came out in 2015. Now, I liked Mad Max Fury Road. I thought the action set pieces were awesome, but the one thing missing from that movie, the one thing that made me not love that movie, was that there just wasn't any story. Like, yeah, you've got Mad Max trying to escape, you've got Furiosa trying to get the women away and take them to the Promised Land, but when they get there, Promised Land doesn't exist. Now we got to go back to the Citadel, and it's just like, all right, there's not really anything for me to latch on to here. Plus, there was no real emotion out of any of the characters except for maybe Nicholas Hoult. There wasn't any other emotion out of the characters that made me care for them, and you definitely weren't supposed to care for Nicholas Hoult. So it was just kind of like, I don't have anybody to root for here. Okay, those are my gripes on Mad Max Fury Road. I went off on a tangent there, but back to Furiosa, this movie had what Mad Max Fury Road was missing, and that is storyline that I could sink my teeth into. I loved watching Furiosa come up in the ranks under Immortan Joe's control, and I loved the character of Dr. Dementis, played by Chris Hemsworth, who did a fantastic job being an agent of chaos. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody in my comment section on that video was like, I could have seen Jason Momoa's character from Fast and Furious being that guy as well. And you were absolutely right. He would have fit into that so well, because this character was an absolute agent of chaos, where you have Immortan Joe trying to take over the area, but there's just this one thorn in his side. This guy will not die. He will not go away. And in the middle of this feud that's going on, you've got Furiosa looking for revenge revenge against Dr. Dementis. It's a really fun storyline, and the action set pieces are just as good, if not better, than Mad Max Fury Road. I highly recommend this movie to everyone to check out. And we've made it to my favorite movie in May of 2024. At number 1, we have The Fall Guy. The Fall Guy stars Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling plays a stuntman who falls at the beginning of the movie, breaks his back, gets out of the stuntman game, but then gets back into the stuntman game for love because he wants to win Emily Blunt back. And at the same time, you have Aaron Taylor Johnson going around in this movie doing some diabolical stuff. So you've got the two of them on a collision course for each other, and it's just a fun time. This movie does the best when it blends comedy and action and romance into the same movie. It's a fun rom-com while also being a fun action-packed movie. And while this doesn't say much for the box office of the film, they've already put it on VOD. So if you want to check this movie out, you can rent it and watch it ASAP. But guys, those are the movies that I had a chance to see in May of 2024. I believe this May was a better May than May of 2023. I think we got some better movies, better quality movies. So overall, I had a great time with the month of May. I'm looking forward to the month of June and beyond in 2024. And if you like this video and you want to watch more, don't forget to hit the like button because it helps the video, it helps the channel, and it helps me right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. All right, guys, we got to the end of my May ranked list video, and I love making these. There's something about the ranked lists that are just so much fun to make. You know, I watch these movies all month. I'm creating a list as I go, and then I'm moving things around. I had Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes a lot higher on this list, and then I was like, no, the horror movies were definitely worse. Even though Kingdom was boring, it was still better technically than the horror movies that came out this month, so that's why I got the edge over it. But yeah, just some behind the scenes stuff. But with that said though, guys, if you want to check out any other content on my channel, well, I've got all of my ranked videos from 2024 right there. And I've got all of my 2024 movie reviews right there.